Hey, good morning, everybody. I am thrilled that you're here. I'm just going to shut something down really quick. Come on. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Hi. Rita Hickman. I'm a body mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist. And what I do is I help women who are in narcissistic and toxic relationships walk away. Specifically, women who are successful, smart. Many of them have their own business or practice. They're entrepreneurs, they're CEOs, they're CFOs. Women who've worked for themselves for a long time, who are independent and smart and creative and strong. Many of those women end up in relationships with narcissists. It's just kind of the way that it is. You know, one of the reasons that successful women many successful women come from hardship. It's because then, as a kid, you were kind of pushed and forced to deal with stress, to overcome stress, and find creative ways to handle all of the issues going on. For myself, when I was a kid, I had a lot of nosebleeds because I was always stressed. I had stomach issues. I had headaches. I would get dizzy. I'd feel faint. I constantly was under a high level of emotional and physical stress. And because of that, it I had to push harder than other people. I had to be smarter. I had to be more creative. I had to learn how to ignore how I felt. And all of these ended up turning women into very successful, externally successful people who know how to work with others and manage and care and think about details and keep all the balls juggled. Adversity many times creates high levels of success. But the problem is that you eventually get to a point in your life where you are tired of that conflict of being externally successful, having everything together, people depend upon you, and the weight just keeps getting more and more as you get older, as there's more expectations and more pressure. And inside, you are conflicted. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, you have digestive issues, you have heart issues, you have inflammatory problems like rheumatoid arthritis, or you deal with fibromyalgia. You know, these are all things that are really influenced by stress, triggered by stress, and then made much worse by stress. And successful women have a lot of stress on them. And between having a narcissist in your life and dealing with the stress of keeping up an image of being successful and smart and well balanced and intelligent and capable, it will rip a lot of women apart. So, why are narcissists attracted to successful women? What's up with that? What's going on with that? Well, think about it this way. When you're insecure, the one of the best ways to feel better is to hang out with people who make you feel safe and secure. Successful women, women who know who've worked with a lot of people, who've managed people, who've driven, who've powered through, who are in industries that they're very successful in, they make other people feel safe. And the reason they make other people feel safe is because you're just so capable. You found this way to somehow deal with this high level of external stress and still function. And so narcissists who really do want to feel secure, who really do want to feel safe, they end up attracted to successful women. They end up attracted to women who are capable. And if they have a decent amount of skill or something, you know, little, just enough crazy, successful women are a challenge. They're a challenge to dominate. They're a challenge to gain control over. They're a challenge to win. Like the typical male female, it's a predator prey. And the more insecure someone is, the more they want to be around other successful people. Think about it for a second. Think about all the little cartoons and all the stories about successful people being surrounded by insecure people. And many times in male female relationships or parent child relationships, the parent or the spouse or the boyfriend or the whatever, they gain strength and confidence in themselves because they're around someone who makes them feel that way, who a strong woman that they can dominate, a strong woman that they can control, a strong woman that they can intimidate, that they can trigger back into old issues that have been around for a long time. Narcissists, if looked at in the correct lens, are some of the greatest healers because they come into your life and they are relentless about pulling up and pulling out and pushing and creating trauma. They're geniuses at creating the exact circumstances that will create inner conflict. Because when you're conflicted, they feel in control. When you're conflicted, they've got power and they feel safe. So, one of the safest things for a narcissistic man or person to do is to find someone who's strong, to find someone that is a challenge, close enough that they have half a chance of dominating. It's not about weak women. It's not about dumb women. It's not about broken women. It's not about screwed up women or over emotional women or women who are too sensitive. That's not it at all. What they see is your strength. What they see is the security that they want. They want something from you. They want what you have, which is dominance over your inner conflict. But a narcissist will help you resolve that inner conflict very quickly because, as I said, they're predators. They're predators at finding out how to dominate successful women, smart women, women who have the ability to stand up to them. And it makes them feel, in some weird way, even stronger when they can dominate you. Find reasons to push those buttons that take you right back to the trauma. The key is to figure out how to release the trauma that's in your system. Because a narcissist will push your buttons every day of the week. And the problem is, it's not the narcissist. The problem is that you're being controlled by your own nervous system. You're being hijacked by your own amygdala, by your own trauma triggers, which were designed to keep you safe because they're still unresolved in your system, no matter how much therapy you've had, no matter how many cool, woo-woo, ritualistic things you've done. And they're all very helpful. I know, I've done decades of them. And that's the long way to get those trauma triggers out of your brain. That's how it's still very effective, but it takes a very long time, maybe longer than you really want to give to it. For me, it took over 40 years for me to finally find the tools that science has brought to us that distills all of that wonderful information from all of those cultural medicines and distills it into some very smart, effective, efficient tools about working through the things that keep hijacking you. Because a narcissist, it's sad because their basis is that level of insecurity, that level of being out of control. And they want to be around someone who knows how to control insanity, how to control the crazies inside of them. And who better than a very successful woman who's been successful because she's overcome so much trauma already in her life. A narcissist comes to deal with the oldest, the scariest, the deepest traumas that you have. And it's an opportunity if you find the right people, and I am the right person. It's an opportunity to get your deepest triggers off of your system. Because in order to heal your triggers, they do have to be activated, but they only have to be activated for a very short period of time. You don't have to sit there with it for months. You don't have to check into a mental hospital. You don't have to see a psychologist or be in therapy for 10, 20 years. You don't have to be on anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication. You don't have to do any of those things. You just have to get the right help, a help that safely lets you excavate a little bit of those deep nervous system triggers and helps you quickly get them off of your system for good. Trauma is an actual receptor that's in your brain that's created when you were traumatized. And trauma, you can be traumatized by watching a movie. It has to do with feeling unexpected, feeling out of control, and not being able to process through the feelings, which happened to most of us. So we are all walking around with all of these ticking time bombs, all of these landmines inside of ourselves and inside of our brain. And until we start dismantling them, until we start letting those triggers be reabsorbed into the body, we're going to end up continuing to trigger and taking the long way. The beautiful way, absolute beautiful way of ceremony and ritual and connection, those are powerful. And when they're used in conjunction with some trauma tools and used in conjunction with sincerely healthy people who've done their work, it all comes together. You're able to reverse decades worth of triggers that you've been holding around in your system, which is making you sick, causing the same sorts of problems that I had when I was a kid, when I was under those levels of stress, because that's how the body handles it. So, yes, narcissists are attracted to strong, successful women. In fact, they're more often than not attracted to strong, successful women. And so, if you've got a narcissist in your life, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're helpless. It doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean that you're broken. What it means is that you're a pretty cool woman that I want to get to know better. And when you get rid of those triggers, when they dissolve back into your system, you become unstoppable. You can stand up to anyone about anything at any time. You're able to keep your cool no matter the situation, no matter how threatening, triggered, and it doesn't take long. It only takes a few minutes. So I invite you to reach out if you feel stuck. You might be stuck in toxic relationships too. Other smart, successful, capable, cool, interesting women. Because trust me, you want to get to know them because they're the neatest ones around. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.